It's a brave new day here on Splash Play Pod, where we head to the world of full point PPR on drafters, where there are no pods, no playoff pods, just 17 weeks of total scoring, and again, a full point PPR format. Today's a double header here on the world of drafters, so shout out to them. Make sure to play on drafters if you are new to the site. Use promo code SPLASH on drafters. Get $100 in bonus cash right away for yourself. It is a great deal, one of the best deals as well in terms of the rake back you're getting as you put in more entries. You get more free entries and $100 if you max it out. The drafters million, where it's $15 entries, $500K to first place. And today I am picking in the not so glorious 8-hole, but we'll figure it out. Seems like not a lot of regulars in this room. Our guy, Mr. Poopy Butthole, was DMing me before the stream. He got in, but everybody else, I don't know. So we'll see how we do in this one. Excited to pick. And hey, I'll even click the I am ready, let's draft button that one person in a room always fails to click to actually get a draft started early. It's a fun day here. Of course, been a lot of training camp news. I don't do training camp news on the weekends, but been following the Troy Franklin items very closely. Troy Franklin, the biggest debate in Denver is how good Troy Franklin is or isn't. That continues to be the case on social media as well. Besides that, my bags are looking okay. I'm feeling good about it. Had a good week of clean drafts and underdog, and that's why we come to drafters. A little bit of a break from the BBM world. And also, again, big prizes up top. Last year, I finished top 110 with only 9 entries in the Drafters Million Tournament. So one of my favorite tournaments in the biz, and we're going to make it work today. We'll see what these guys do. Hopefully, we get some fun value sliding back. A lot of guys who haven't done a draft before, it looks like. When you do see people have multiple drafts, they have the number next to them and their name. Here we have this guy, no drafts, this guy, this guy, this guy. So 4 guys up top with no drafts. We will see what they do amidst some sharks with 36 drafts, 44 drafts, who knows. Shout out to all you guys watching, though. It is a fine Saturday here, starting early, just trying to get out of the way because of the doubleheader we got going. Tim, hoping that I remember that's a PPR site. I forget sometimes it is full point PPR, but that is the thing our pal Diego taught me, and then now I'm never going to get it. It's cemented in my brain. Mr. Mister's here. Appreciate him being here. Chunk's here. We got another draft coming up in the back half for anybody that wants to try to draft with me on drafters. But we're going to do this one first. Hopefully it'll be a breezy one. I would like to eat food. I woke up, got to sleep in this morning. A rare time I get to sleep in on the weekends because usually Luca wakes up at like 6 o'clock. Alex takes the first shift. I relieve her. She goes takes a nap. But today he woke up at 7, so I got to sleep in a little bit. And it wasn't good sleep either. Like the dads out there may know where you wake up, you hear the kid fucking rummaging around, screaming various things. You're in bed and it's not really sleep. But just be able to lay in bed to like 9:30 this morning was a fucking gift, which is one of those things when you have either a dog or a toddler. You miss those little luxuries sometimes. So I got Jerry here, the pound here. 1 point per 10 yards. Oh, wow. Diego giving me more and more rules by the day. I'm learning more about the world of drafters. It's a change. Look, it's an adjustment if you're only playing on BBM to get used to all this stuff. So it is maybe more helpful than even Diego realizes. Couple picks coming in here. Love when they use the full clock in the first round. Always fun. Really got to think, oh, do I take a Amon-Ra St. Brown here? I don't know. We got Bijan at 4, Tyreek Hill at 5. So some value going to these guys here. Well, to this guy, not so much to the guy reaching for Bijan. Ready to run. Please don't use the whole clock. It's really not that hard of a choice. It's Jefferson. It's Brees. It's maybe A.J. Brown if you want to get weird. God damn it. I declare I just want to eat food. So we have to take 30 seconds to pick Brees Hall. I will take less than 30 seconds to pick Justin Jefferson in the 8-hole. Yesterday, I thought I was getting him in the 7-hole. Turned out I was actually drafting in the 6th. Here, I got him in the 8th. So we'll happily take Justin Jefferson at the 8th spot here. People reaching for Brees Hall, people reaching for Bijan Robinson. It opens it up, and I'm happy to get it. Become a member for tasteful photos of synchronized swimming and news on semen factory explosions. Yeah, Robert Griffin III. First chat in the morning is Robert Griffin here posting himself a tweet of a bull semen factory, I believe it was, exploding and leaking semen all across the town. So great news items there. Also, occasionally football talk. But there are a lot of things going on in the Splash Play VIP Discord. No Puka Nacua Marvin Harrison combo for this guy. Sucks for him. I got it last week. Ha ha ha. The one time I get to laugh at somebody else for not having a Puka Nacua Marvin Harrison combo. Jahmyr Gibbs, there was a report of a bet between him and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Not really a bet, but basically Amon-Ra St. Brown saying he will buy Jahmyr Gibbs anything he wants if Gibbs could put up 1,000 rushing yards and 1,000 receiving yards in a year, which is a very aggressive bet given that hasn't occurred, I don't believe, ever. So that would be certainly something. I mean, if it has occurred, it must be less than 5 times, but I don't think it's ever occurred. We're on the clock, though. Zero RB star would be fine. I do want to get more Jonathan Taylor on the sites in general. This room with a bunch of RB piggies, perhaps we can get some more RBs at reasonable price tags. Wouldn't be mad at taking Adams. Wouldn't be mad at taking Olave. We'll get a share of Taylor, though. Part of the reason I want to take more Taylor, and this has kind of been my bet the entire time. Who posted the chat? There we go. Somebody, this is Mr. Poopy Butthole saying full clock, full cock spaggy. Thank you to Mr. Poopy Butthole. Jonathan Taylor. So what made me think about him more lately? Trey Sermon getting some hype for being the direct backup there to Jonathan Taylor. And last year we did see Jonathan Taylor getting work, Zach Moss coming in, relieving him of some work. Zach Moss during that time frame, especially when Taylor was ramping up, had some big games, broke some big plays, did some nice stuff. The issue to me, though, is as the season went on, Taylor was basically getting all the work. Moss was getting like none of the work. I just don't think that Trey Sermon is necessarily going to get even what Zach Moss got in that early part of last year, because that was when Jonathan Taylor was ramping up. That was when they didn't have him healthy fully. They didn't want to trot him out there after he just got this new contract. So to me, Sermon's not really a play. He's a contingent value play. That's it. But that does mean that Taylor's probably a guy that's getting the lion's share of this backfield. Yeah, he's going to lose some goal line work to AR. Yeah, if the pass game is better, there's going to be a little bit less for Jonathan Taylor. But there is still opportunity for him in a big way. And I think that's something where I don't love taking early RBs, especially, the guys that we know are maybe closer towards the back half of their career than the upside that we want to see in year 1, year 2, year 3, those big leaps. So I've been taking less Taylor. I think he's an okay price tag. I think he's looked better at the 2-3 turn. I think he and Saquon both feel a lot more cozy at that 2-3 turn. But in this particular build, we get Taylor at 17, so I'm going to do it. Only done 3 times before. Okay, 1,000 and 1,000 in 1 year, 3 times before. There you go. Coffee and gourmet donuts. Wow, we had to put in gourmet. It couldn't just be donuts. It can be a working class guy. Tyler has to flaunt his NASA wealth in our face. His NASA wealth or his best ball streaming wealth. I would tend to think the former. Being a best ball streamer, especially of my tier or below, you're basically making DoorDash numbers. So you're not honestly less than DoorDash if you're like a premium DoorDasher. So it's not a great scene for that side of the equation. I'm not getting gourmet donuts, I'll tell you what. The year I kind of laid off extreme zero RB is the year it wins. We're talking about this year. I mean, look, everybody's laying off zero RB this year. Talked about the best ball overlay tool, which doesn't work here on Drafters, but does work very well in Underdog. And some of the exposures that you have there that you can see on their data tool. And they tell me, I was going through it after the stream last night, it's telling me that I have like every build of mine is modified hero RB because I take an RB usually in the 7th or 8th round. So every build of mine, 50% of my builds is quote unquote modified hero RB, which I refuse to believe is actually modified hero RB. I think if you take an RB after round 6, it's zero RB. Like that's fundamentally the way I've always defined it. It's also the way in general the data lays it out. If you go through some of the data tools like on RotoViz or Roster Construction Explorer for Underdog. So look, I think zero RB is a looser definition than ever, but if you actually commit to it and do it, you are among the very low, very unique for sure. Raider Ron for sure being tempted by Devon Achane here, and I would be too. A lot of followers because these guys went up to get Kelsey and Laporta. Weird room. The non-badge drafting in the first 5 spots has made this a little more unique than you would think. Look, I'm normally not going to load up on RB like this, but getting Taylor and Achane feels pretty good. Achane here, almost a 10-pick discount. Going to go Achane. I have no issue with Brandon Ayuk. Brandon Ayuk not at practice yesterday. He's either getting traded or he's working on a new contract. I tend to think the latter, but we will figure out what happens with him soon. But he is falling. Going to be a 8-pick fall in this room at the very least. What about hyper fragile zero RB? That would never be the thing you should do. I think from my experience with zero RB, doing it pretty heavy the last few years, again, maxing out Underdog, maxing out DraftKings last few years, I would say that hyper fragile zero RB is like the one thing you don't want to do because this year, theoretically, it's more possible because of the fact that you have some guys that are actual starters, let's say from pick 80 to pick 130. Like there are guys that are probably the lead back, if not, a powerful goal line back, getting a lot of touchdowns in their roles. So you can make it work theoretically, but for zero RB to me, the whole thing is like, you want to get volume. This year I thought I was going to have more 7 RB teams, but I think instead what I did was gave a little more draft capital to RBs instead. And that's maybe still be able to do 6 RB teams and feel good about it. But last year, looking through my teams, like because they were thin, because I had a lot of rookies in particular, I felt like 7 RB teams worked. If I went in with the rookies and stuff like that, and he had a 4 RB team, I would feel incredibly vulnerable. So I would say 6 is a minimum if you're doing zero RB for real. 7 you could do if you spend not enough draft capital. Zero RB is taking down drafters just as there we go. Just as Diego. I hope Diego does take it down zero RB. I don't know if Diego's a zero RB guy. We'll have to find out with more of his drafts. All right, we got some picks coming up here, or a pick coming up here. Pacheco again. This room is so odd. This room is reaching for QB, reaching for tight end, eschewing RB. Do you think we need to take? I feel like we need to take a receiver here, but this is ridiculous. Like, it's another 8-pick drop for Pacheco, or I take Christian Kirk at ADP, and I don't really think we're getting avalanched here. This is tough. Jefferson's going to cover up a lot of warts for this team, I believe. So we're going to go Pacheco here. I think this is now, we can't really do hyper fragile with just 3 RBs because of the week 6 bye that we have in conflict here. I'm taking Pacheco, though. This is not my usual team, but this is also not the usual room. Zero is technically anchor wide receiver, I believe. But yeah, I think this is a 4 RB team, and we're going to have to hit receiver hard from pick 55 on. The team so far, Jonathan Taylor, Devon Achane, Isaiah Pacheco, Justin Jefferson. Again, it's not really an avalanche room. We have 2 guys going heavy receiver. Maybe this guy over here does as well. But it's more because these guys went up a good amount to get Kelsey and Laporta. This guy went up to get Allen. These guys went up to get Hurts and Jackson, especially Lamar. So because of that, we do have RBs falling to spots they shouldn't fall. This is when names I don't know come out and tell me it's looking good. To be clear, this is not usually how you're supposed to draft a team, but because of the fact it's not all these guys loading up at receiver, it's them loading up at other shit. We have a little more luxury to go RB here. Normally, this is a build you should never do, to be pretty crystal clear here. This is not the kind of build that's going to do well. Even 2 RBs in the first 5 rounds is pushing your luck a little bit there if you're not hitting receiver in equal amounts. But in this build, if the room's just going to give me 10-pick values on multiple guys, I think that's it. In hindsight, the thing to do would have been to pass up Taylor here, would have gotten Adams there, basically at ADP, or Olave, though Olave fell to 23 in this room. Could have gotten one of those guys, then still gotten discount Achane, who might have been even more discounted. Pacheco might have been even more discounted. That would have been, in hindsight, the move instead of taking Taylor. But we did what we did, and now we'll make it work. Catch another live Saturday. It just happens to be a double. Gets my juices flowing. Yeah, I will be here for 2 hours today, or 2 drafts in a row. Hopefully not a full 2 hours. Hopefully these guys will make quick, tidy picks on the clock. That's the dream as always. But we will be here for 2 drafts today. And moving forward, the last few Saturdays here, last month of Saturdays, going to be all double headers for drafters, along with another one. And I'm thinking I'm going to do another doubleheader tomorrow as well. So, because I didn't get to do one on Thursday because I didn't get paid for the deal yet. So I think next week I'm probably going to do one during like a happy hour time period. This week, probably going to do one today and a doubleheader tomorrow. It's going to be the thought. Go check out Drafters, though, if you haven't yet. Drafters.com, drafters.com. Use promo code SPLASH on there to get a $100 deposit match. A pure deposit match on there, not a partial like you get on some other sites. You also get, again, free entries when you put in 10, free entries at 25. If you put in 100 entries, you end up getting 7 entries free. If you put in 150, you also get $100 back in Drafters cash. So lots of good deals going on Drafters. Check it out for yourself. And let's pray we get some receivers back of note. Shout out Mr. Poopy Butthole gifting away a membership. Hopefully somebody good got it. I'll also be doing a giveaway at the end of the stream as well. A couple Drafters tickets coming up at the end of this one, so stay tuned for that. But shout out Mr. Poopy Butthole. Appreciate his generosity here. And don't appreciate him taking all the wide receivers, but appreciate his generosity. And let's see what we get on the way back. The Laporta Mark Andrews start, the sign of a savvy drafter. You always want to leave the first 5 rounds. It's one of the rules of thumb that people forget sometimes, but easy, no stress here. He doesn't have a care in the world because he's got 2 receivers, he's got 2 tight ends, and he's got 1 RB. He's got a little bit of everything. He's got the smorgasbord approach for himself. Kyle Pitts at 54, ahead of Dalton Kincaid. Feels odd. Do we just take an elite tight end faller now as well? Really pushing it if we do that. But I just want to see how this team looks at the end. This has been a weird room. I don't think Kincaid should go after Pitts. Andrews should go this late in this process for guys reaching early for tight ends. So we have 1 receiver through 5 rounds. The good news is the 1 receiver is a transcendent talent who's going to likely make our lineup most weeks as long as he can stay healthy. But we have Justin Jefferson, Jonathan Taylor, huge value Devon Achane, huge value Isaiah Pacheco, pretty huge value Dalton Kincaid. We are doing it. We are doing it. It's the hope spurious news, but if an elite QB is there as well, then I might be fucked. That is definitely an option. But no, it's not now. Thank God. Mr. Poopy Butthole saves me from taking AR here. What have you done? I got a doubleheader. It's Saturday. I'm doing some weird stuff. Try some different builds. It's too much value. If this were, again, and this is the kind of build, again, you really don't do. If you're in one of like the stream drafts, like when Pete does one of his streams, if you do like this, you're going to get completely killed by wide receivers. And a room like this one where people keep deviating, people keep moving around, there's going to be a pocket where receivers start to pile up a little bit more. And I'm hoping that I align with that pocket. So that's my bet here. That's my thesis with what I'm doing right now. But we will certainly see what happens with the rest of these picks. Mr. Poopy Butthole really thinking about it. Oh, my God. He's real. Okay. He takes Jaden Reed. So what we're going to do now is continue to ladle value on top. Calvin Ridley going after ADP, even though his co-starring receiver is hurt and going to be out 4 to 6 weeks. Happy to do that. So Calvin Ridley, wide receiver 2. The team again, Jonathan Taylor, Devon Achane, Isaiah Pacheco, Justin Jefferson, Calvin Ridley, and Dalton Kincaid. So very elite at RB, 1 elite tight end, 1 superstar wide receiver, and Calvin Ridley coming along for the ride. We are going to have to hit receiver hot and heavy, though. That's going to be not a surprise at this point. But this is probably the time where we hit receiver pretty aggressively. And I'm prepared to do that emotionally, mentally, physically, perhaps. And we'll see what these guys do on the turn. This guy loading up on receiver. If he keeps going further with it, he's diminishing returns unless he goes extreme 0 RB. At this point, it could. Then tack on Will Levis late. Well, Will Levis, JJ McCarthy at QB and just go receiver for 11 straight rounds. That could work. Xavier Worthy goes. Worthy falling a little bit in this room. Kind of a surprise given some of the camp steam for him. Every day in practice, Patrick Mahomes throws deep balls to Xavier Worthy. The issue is like he's not getting a lot of overall targets. One of their beat reporters had a target count the other day for the Chiefs. It was like 7 for Kelsey, 6 for for Hollywood Brown, which I have to use his formal name now. He's Hollywood. He's not Marquise anymore. 6 for Rashee Rice, and then it was like 3 for Worthy, 2 for like the rest of the guys. Like Worthy does seem like he's going to be the deep ball guy in that offense. My concern is he's more of like this is going to be a real specific niche reference for you guys out there. He's like a Marvin Hall, where it's like Marvin Hall had 1 year when he was playing on Cleveland where he looked pretty good. He was getting a lot of deep targets, was looking functional for the most part. But it wasn't a big sample size. He was getting, like 4 targets a game, running 20 routes a game. Then one day came where all the Browns receivers were out, and it was basically Marvin Hall looked like the best player out of all of them. Ended up being a guy named Jamarcus Bradley who ended up getting the reps there because Marvin Hall isn't really a guy designed to get 10 targets in a game. He was completely shut down in that one game. A lot of his stuff he was doing was just small sample size stuff, kind of benefiting from the other guys around him being covered well and giving him some opportunity. So for Xavier Worthy, that's my concern, is like he's kind of a Marvin Hall. Like he's a more talented Marvin Hall, fastest player in NFL history coming out of the combine, Marvin Hall. But he's still like kind of a Marvin Hall type where I just don't know the volumes there. But I'm surprised that people aren't like, whoa, another deep ball. Like I'm surprised that's not driving Xavier Worthy up a little bit more. We'll see what we do with this next pick. So we got the one little pocket of receiver value. This one, I guess technically a little bit of receiver value. We'll get Romo Dunze here, though Brian Thomas at ADP makes a little bit more sense, but we'll go with Dunze. Again, just scooping the value at this point. We've gotten a room that's going to give us 8 picks of value per round. I am going to keep taking the 8 picks of value per round for right now. That's the whole thesis of the play at this point in time. So we have Jonathan Taylor, Devon Achane, Isaiah Pacheco, Justin Jefferson, Calvin Ridley, Romo Dunze, Dalton Kincaid. So nothing stacked yet. Obviously, week 17 correlation, just pure sugar on top here if we are going to go that way for anything with it. Let's see what these guys give me back. JMO going at 84. JMO should still be priced in the mid-70s. Cortland Sutton went 75 in this room. J-Mo going at 84. One is tethered to one of the best offenses in football and has the greatest camp reports possible. One has barely been mentioned other than one play yesterday where he slipped and fell and created an interception for the QB. I think I would go J-Mo a little bit more than Cortland Sutton based on everything we know of best ball. But King Koopa is not a bad drafter or whatever. He has had no drafts on drafters this year, as evidenced by, again, not having that parentheses by his name. So he's just vibing. He just saw, hey, free tickets, deposit bonuses, sure. Was really hoping we get Brian Thomas back. Unfortunately, that's not going to be the case. Tough pocket for what I would like to accomplish here. But maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not. This could work out. All right. So, again, wanted Brian Thomas. Think the Minnesota double works. Jordan Addison, again, the more time goes on for any of these guys, the closer we get to the season, less likely he's going to get suspended, less likely Rashee Rice is going to be suspended. Jordan Addison's been at every practice looking pretty good. Really no issue with Jordan Addison. He took this dip for this theoretical suspension. I think you buy in on it and just soak up some of the CLV you're going to get from a guy who's probably not going to get punished till next year if he ever gets punished. So Jordan Addison's my wide receiver 4. Again, Jonathan Taylor, Devon Achane, Isaiah Pacheco, Justin Jefferson, Calvin Ridley, Romo Dunze, Jordan Addison. I think for all the deviations I had, I didn't really suffer for it. So that was my bet when I saw the room and how it was working. Again, if you see this early part of the room where it's like everybody's like Tolmont here, if everybody's like Mr. Poopy Butthole here, don't go RB heavy like I did. But you see them just kind of scooping a few here, like a few guys going 0 RB, the rest of them jumping around. That's where I do think you're going to have a shot to make it up a little bit more. So in a perfect world, getting Thomas here and then Addison at 104 would have been the absolute nuts. But I think with what we did, we got it pretty good. Hero wide receiver is not the new meta, but I think it just comes down to the room around you. Seeing that lack of badges and then seeing, again, not a lot of people going pure 0 RB, I thought we had a shot, and I think I feel okay about it, though. We'll see how it feels by the end of it. Having 20 rounds, too, I think allows me a little more cover. I'm just adding more volume at receiver to feel better about it. Though, obviously, if I add that volume late, volume's not going to feel that good. Wide receiver room is shaping out pretty okay, all things considered. Definitely helps to get the fallers. Definitely helps to get falling Ridley, falling Odunze, and falling Addison. All of those combined, I think, make it look a little better. But this is one of those ones where I was like, I'm putting myself on an island with not grabbing a receiver, but I kind of just felt like I could make it work. So that's the genius. The genius at play. The genius you see here, which I don't have my laurels for drafters on here. I didn't put top 110 finisher, but let's not forget, you don't make 4 finals in 2 years by just not knowing how to read rooms, right, guys? That's what we say. Today was almost a spark a joint draft too, but I didn't have enough time, and I was like, I think I need to promote that if I'm going to do one of my smoking a joint throughout a draft. So did it last year while doing DraftKings. At some point, it's coming up in August, but I don't know when it's going to be. Boy, but if for all of you who enjoy the greenery while watching this stream, and I know there's a lot of you, and I'm always glad to hear it, that's going to be coming up on one of these streams the next few weeks. Addison in drafters isn't as bad if he gets suspended because of the suspension hits late in the year. It isn't as devastating. That's fine. Again, it's very unlikely it hits, though, I would say. Like, once you get into the process of the season, guys don't usually get suspended unless they do something egregiously bad in the middle of a season. So I'm not really even worried about the suspension part, but if he gets suspended, fine. I got him at 90-ish. That's my draft caddy personally. All right, hey, maybe it's working for you too. Oh, Mr. Poopy Butthole rolling a J. I guess, surprised the Rick and Morty fan who's made Mr. Poopy Butthole his avatar would be into smoking a J. All right, we can make another bet on Cleveland, Khalil Shakir. Obviously, we're not stacking it up. Could go Jonathan Brooks, but I think we will go Khalil Shakir here again. Got to keep making it up a receiver. Jonathan Brooks, very tempting. I'm sure one of these guys would love to have him around the turn because these guys a little bit RB starved here. So our 5th receiver comes in, Khalil Shakir. Again, great camp reports for him. Most reliable player in camp, basically, for the Bills has been most of the reports he's gotten. Curtis Samuel's right there with him. I think those guys, to me, very similar plays, other than the fact that Curtis Samuel probably gets a few more run plays throughout the course of a year. And if you get Jonathan Brooks at 105, great pick there as well. Highest wide receiver exposure is Addison and Rice. Yeah, look, I was out on the Rice train, really thought he was going to get suspended, but boy, did they obfuscate that process, and also the state themselves not filing charges, or if they are going to file charges, they haven't done any part of it yet. That's the kind of thing where I just assumed logical things would happen legally, because that was what Jordan Addison did was get drunk, fall asleep at the side of a road. That's not great. Rashee Rice, though, driving full speeds in a car race with his friends that could have killed people was one of the more egregious things to not get punished pretty quickly. But I don't know. His legal team and the Chiefs were working behind the scenes fast, and I guess they worked fast and got the results they were looking for. Dallas Goedert goes 111. But honestly, no matter what we get with this next pick, I feel pretty okay with another receiver. Could be a time to take QB as well. We will see what Mr. Poopy Butthole thinking about it. He's licking his joint wrapper. He's got to really soak it all in. Rashid Shaheed would be a nice little value here again. We just keep soaking up value with this team. We are now at a 3-6-1 build with no QBs. We have Jonathan Taylor, Devon Achane, Isaiah Pacheco, Justin Jefferson, Calvin Ridley, Romo Dunze, Jordan Addison, Khalil Shakir, and Rashid Shaheed. The tight end, Dalton Kincaid. And it also looks like we have a new chat in here. Mr. Poopy Butthole is loving this RB value. Mr. Poopy Butthole having a nice time talking to himself in the Drafters chat. Drafters chat, usually a quiet place. Rice doesn't have court until December, but he's like civil court too, not even criminal court. So that's the bigger thing that we talked about earlier in the week. Drew Davenport, the legal guy on Twitter, had done a pretty decent deep dive, including interrogating, including asking the Dallas officials about what's going on with the case for Rashee Rice, and basically looked it up, and it's like there's been nothing criminal filed at all. So the criminal part of it's the one you're worried about. The civil part of it, I don't think would do anything unless you're OJ. Like, I don't think it's going to affect you too much. I believe there's a precedent for DUIs for a 3-game suspension midseason if the court case happens then, but that's the Addison stuff hasn't moved either. I don't know. None of them have moved. I'm not really worried about it either way. And especially this build now where we got Shakir and Shaheed on top. I think Addison, I wouldn't say luxury, but he obviously matters to the team, but he's kind of a luxury in this build now. We will see what we get on the way back. Bit of value-heavy room. I feel like drafters, and granted, I do a lot of my drafters drafts with a lot of regulars in here, regulars in my community, and obviously most of the stream draft communities out there do soak up value, do kind of take it away off the table in rooms. This has been one of the more value-heavy drafters rooms I have seen in my entire time period during drafters. At least for me, I'd have this many guys get soaked up. I have a team full of guys that are 8 to 10 picks after ADP, which is not normally the case. So excited to see it. So you can stop leaving chat. I hate fucking notifications. So I have to click them every time. Mr. Poopy Butthole is crippling my OCD right now. I'm a no notification guy. I'm a zero email guy. Zero email inbox. Zero RB, zero email. I want inbox 0 at all times. Is that way you know it's the best for your workflow? That way you know you've cleared everything out. If you only keep stuff that you have to do still in your inbox, then you're ahead of the 8 ball. I'm always about optimizing my life as much as possible. It's always one of my goals. So again, notifications. I have to keep clicking. Click, click, click. Obviously, something I wouldn't mind coming back to me, but we got 2 more picks for somebody to fuck that up. But let's see what happens here. Fucking Tyler Lockett falling in this room? Why? I'm not going to click the chat anymore, Mr. Poopy Butthole. You can keep chatting to yourself. I'm gonna fight my OCD. All right, Raider run. What is he going to do? Just take Tyler Lockett, man. He got Dotson at 103. I love Dotson. You don't need to go up 40 picks for Dotson. All right, so I was going to take Caleb with that last pick. Instead, we get Caleb back at a 15-pick discount. So, all right, Caleb Williams, come on down. We now have QB1 here stacked up with Romo Dunze. We're feeling good about it. We have Caleb Williams, Jonathan Taylor, Devon Achane, Isaiah Pacheco, Justin Jefferson, Calvin Ridley, Romo Dunze, Jordan Addison, Khalil Shakir, Rashid Shaheed, and Dalton Kincaid. I am very happy with this team. We got less wide receiver ones because of the fact that we did punt receivers so much early on to take these RB values, but we still made it up with guys that are like in the rotation. For Addison, a guy that's leverage off of Jefferson in weeks where he doesn't go off. I think this team is like pretty sick by drafter standards. We will see. I am new to drafters. Hopefully you use promo code SPLASH if you're doing that. But if you are new to drafters, use promo code SPLASH. But any tips or tricks? I I don't know, elite QB, elite tight end matter more, but last year it wasn't an elite QB or elite tight end team that won. So you can kind of do whatever you want. Still, I would say for the most part, you are trying to be mindful of your correlation. Stacking is still very important for drafters. You can get away with some more stuff like not having a QB in the finals is what won somebody a team or won somebody the tournament 2 years ago when Jalen Hurts got hurt. So a lot of it's just getting the nuts right for the most part, getting your late guys, especially that excel. Last year, you had to have one of Puka or Kyron Williams to make the finals and to be really up there heavily. So that's one thing as well. Really nothing. It's just, it's just full point PPR and you're not sweating pods quite as much. So same principles are going to apply for most things. Tua's here, doesn't do anything for us. Kirk Cousins is here, doesn't do anything for us. Fourth RB would be okay at this point. Could go up and get Cole Kmet, but that doesn't feel right either. I mean, I guess the Charbonnet discount feels all right. Could have taken Chandler for more Minnesota correlation, but I've soaked up so much value in this room that my team is probably pretty unique for it. That's just what I'm going to do. So fourth RB off the board here, Zach Charbonnet. We have Jonathan Taylor, Devon Achane, Isaiah Pacheco, and Zach Charbonnet. Zach Charbonnet stands out like a sore thumb, I think, in this RB room. But he's still a guy that theoretically, maybe by the end of the year, Walker gets hurt. Charbonnet earns more of a role because Walker has fumbling issues or something. We don't know what can happen to Walker. I think just making the bet, the Simpsons softball style bet that something goes wrong for Walker is okay here as RB4. When we are getting Charbonnet, again, is a pretty big value. Though I do think Charbonnet, for what it's worth, based on reports from Seattle right now, it's been a lot of Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker is getting a lot of the high value touches. Charbonnet's still in the mix, but it feels like he's mostly behind. So Charbonnet, I think, maybe can come down a little bit more. Kamani Vidal should not be going at 141. Just like an objectively really bad pick above Rico Dowdle and Ty Chandler. Vidal's going the opposite way. Vidal is a guy who is currently injured, also down the pecking order for the Chargers. He's also not that talented. He played at Troy and wasn't that good at Troy. So people have really been chasing the ghost for him for a while now. He's a rookie. Take him at 180 where I got him yesterday in underdog. Don't go up and get him above guys that have real roles right now, like Rico Dowdle, like Ty Chandler, like Ray Davis. Much better picks than Kamani Vidal. Really would not take Vidal top 150. An underdog, I wouldn't do top 160, really, to be honest. Got the Bears Ultra on DK last night at a discount. Gave me big wood. You guys might have seen on Twitter, the guy went viral for sniping the drafter who had Romo Dunze, Keenan Allen, and DJ Moore. The guy tweeted a screenshot of him taking Caleb Williams away and then was shocked to hear all of the replies, including a lot of people in the depositing Discord and the Splash Play community, replying to him as well about just what an idiot he is. Because he had AR on his team, took Caleb Williams from the guy just to upset the guy's stack, then tried to walk it back like, well, Caleb was the top player on my board, and all the best ball nerds think they know everything. And it's like, if you're one of those people, and I know we have a lot of them that watch the stream as well, there's data on best ball for I think 15 years if we count some of the other sites that have existed, for 5 years now for Underdog, for a similar time period for DraftKings. There's enough data out there to know when you do stuff like take somebody else's QB and try to set up a backdoor stack, unless it's at a huge value, you're hurting your team substantially. And this guy just wouldn't fucking hear it and thought he was the smartest guy in the world. And then he showed his DK spend, I guess, for his lifetime, where he's played $1 million and won $9,000 over the course of playing $1 million. And it's just a guy that just couldn't be less sharp. And that's where you're going against a lot of these draft rooms. So that's why when you come into drafters, when you go into DraftKings, especially, just being about structure, just being about closing out stacks, not reaching for those stacks, just being smart about that stuff. And you are ahead of people that legit spend 7 figures a year on a platform. And that's an important part, I think, of things to point out here. But anyway, for Caleb Williams, he's a hot topic, and people don't get him on DraftKings very often because of guys like that. We are still on the clock here. Figured we'd get Cole Kmet back, and we do. Wouldn't hate Taysom Hill here either for the tight end stuff. But we are going to go Cole Kmet for this one. So second tight end, pairing him with our elite tight end, feeling like we caught up pretty well at receiver. Could keep soaking up value at receiver. Not the biggest Jerry Jeudy guy in the world, though at this point, with that discount, he'd be logical. But I prefer Kmet more at this point. Who do I talk about getting the funding to lose 990K on DK? To be clear, it was a guy that had put in $1 million and won back $1,009,000. So People, you realize too, like if you go through any of your portfolios or your profiles on DraftKings, especially if you played DFS for years, you're going to realize that you spent a lot more money on the platform. The issue is like because of those days where you basically break even, you have, $500 going in, then $501 coming back to you. So like you end up getting $1 while wagering that 500. But you wager a lot more playing DFS than you realize, which is how they get you if you're getting fucking killed by the DFS sharps. No, not 9K back, not 9K back. He had won $9,000 after wagering $1 million, so I had like technically like a 0.008% ROI on his money. So not a good player. Appreciate our guy Michael Thomas here. Hope all is well. Spags, thanks for all you do. Yeah, look, we're surviving. We're in here. We're in the heat of best ball summer now. And guys, your support goes a long way. I haven't pandered for likes and subscribes at all, but please do like the video, subscribe. I'm the only person here who comes on Saturdays, Sundays, and does the streams and does the same thing I do in the weekdays because I care about this. I do the work here every day, and I show my process. I talk about the news items, try to build good teams here, try to do some different stuff when I think a room will allow it like we did today. That's always a promise here on Splash Play. I think about the stuff, and I'm not just in the perpetual, the Enlightenment style ivory tower thinking about best ball and then fucking just doing it. I'm here drafting teams and showing you my gambling here every day. So that's what I do. It's different than everybody else, along with knowing ball better. Look, I'm holding a football. How could I possibly know ball more? But having run Football Outsiders in the past, having had big DFS wins in the past, having guided people. Last year, we had 3 regulars in the community finish top 10 who thanked me personally for finishing the top 10 on their site. So, and that's like the big tournaments as well. So I don't know. I guess I'm doing my own sales pitch right now, but that's the reason why I feel good about what I do. Even if I make less than a DoorDasher doing this, I feel good about what I do. We got Stafford here. No correlation. Could just tack one on if we really wanted to. Baker here. No correlation. Rodgers here. No correlation. Tough pocket for me. With how much value I've soaked up, do I just keep soaking up value and do backdoor Stafford? I think let's do it. Let's do it. Backdoor Stafford. This team is the most unique team in drafters history based on the value I've gotten in this room. I've gotten in a room where like usually CLV accumulates over time. Like, oh, I got Rashee Rice in the 90s. I've accumulated 30 spots of CLV compared to now in August. In this team, I've picked up 70 to 80 spots of CLV in real time. So I think I'm happy with the team. We got Matthew Stafford and Caleb Williams, the QBs. No correlation with Stafford. We're going to figure it out. Jonathan Taylor, Devon Achane, Isaiah Pacheco, Zach Charbonnet of the RBs. Probably done at RB. Could take one more for funsies later on. Justin Jefferson, Calvin Ridley, Romo Dunze, Jordan Addison, Khalil Shakir, and Rashid Shaheed. And a tight end, Dalton Kincaid and Cole Kmet. I mean, this team is not done, but it feels like it could be done at this stage, which is always my goal. My 7th place team is drafted on a Spags Peach stream. There you go. That's right, Mr. Mister. You were one of them. Most committed, consistent, and sexy influencers. Thank you. I try my best. I'm sure me and all the girls on Instagram, we're right there neck and neck for our pure sex appeal. So I'll tell you what, you put those girls on a full point PPR site, they're not going to know what to do. You ask them to suck a dick, they're also probably not going to know what to do. Just stare at it. Hit it against your head a little bit. Hope they hit you off with some dough aside from a thank you. Yeah, actually, that's the best part of being a best ball streamer is like the first week of January because people do tip pretty decently. Not everybody. Some people just like sign up for a membership and go like, oh, thanks. Like, okay, which I appreciate too. But people were very generous with their tipping and I appreciate it, including Mr. Mister. So I appreciate the sentiment. Be joining your next draft. That's plus EV for me. No, fucking I'm saying it menacingly. I'll be joining your next draft. That's fine. Yeah. I'll let you guys know when I'm doing another draft. Will Levis goes. Thought we'd get him back as well. This guy has DeAndre Hopkins, so he had a right to it. He didn't need the 3rd QB, but he took it. That would be one tip as well for every site. You have Jordan Love and Tua. Don't go grabbing another QB just for the sake of it. Especially on here where your Week 17 game stacks matter less. But I'm sure that guy feels nice and cozy now. We're going to stack up our Matthew Stafford with Demarcus Robinson is what we're going to do. So we have our wide receiver 7, Demarcus Robinson, who is functionally the wide receiver 3 for the Rams. maybe some faint shot that at some point Jordan Whittington beats him out. Jordan Whittington looks like a good player so far in camp, but I don't expect it to happen anytime soon, if at all during the year. It's Whittington's season. Look, I took him yesterday in a draft. Happy to do it again. Had the late backdoor Matthew Stafford, Jordan Whittington, Greg Dortch, week 17 correlation and underdog yesterday. Audric Estime goes to Mr. Poopy Butthole, just building my boys here. Marshawn Lloyd, Estime, Brooks to a certain extent. Solid RB room for Mr. Poopy Butthole. Really thought we'd get Levis. I think Levis would have made this build pop. Thought I'd be able to get Robinson here, Levis at 185. But no dice. No dice. And we'll see what these guys do as they really think about it around the turn. Tack on a backdoor Geno onto this, maybe. Just keep backdooring everybody at an ADP value. Wouldn't be crazy, honestly. Got to bet on Seattle already. See what these guys do. Is Kendra dead? Wouldn't say dead, but I don't want to take him unless it's like 17th round. It's a lot of bad signal at once. The price has moved enough. If you take him, it should be RB6, RB7 in a build. It's not a play you could bank on at this point. He hurt himself. Yeah, the double whammy of hurting yourself and the coach speak being that bad is two tough things. And he was already swimming upstream because of the fact he's going against Alvin Kamara, who's about as trusted, about as gifted role as any, really any player in the league. So Geno's and Troy Franklin goes to Mr. Poopy Butthole. He's just taking all the boys that are very appealing to me. But Geno here, almost 20 pick discount. It's might be a 4 QB build for me today. I'm okay with it. I'm very okay with this team. So Geno here, huge value on him. Again, we got a little buried at QB, got sniped on Levis there by a guy who had Hopkins, so not a true snipe, but it was enough to upset the team. So we have Caleb Williams, Stafford, Geno Smith as our QBs, Jonathan Taylor, Devon Achane, Isaiah Pacheco, Zach Charbonnet at RB, wide receiver, Justin Jefferson, Calvin Ridley, Romo Dunze, Addison, Shakir, Shaheed, and Demarcus Robinson here. So we hit receiver, made up at it, went away from the position for about 60 picks. This team works for me, man. This is like a weirdo team, but this feels pretty good. Jamar Chase hasn't been practicing the entire time. This is not a news item. He's holding in. He wants a new contract. He hasn't practiced one day, and we've been in camp for a week. Ooh-wee, me and Spags love some boys. Love the same boys. There we go. Yummy, yummy boys. Thank you for that. Thank you. I'm not doing the voice for that. I guess I should have done the voice rather than saying it in my own voice. But yes, that's the issue. That's part of that's why big board drafting for me, it was the worst time because all of you guys would just tail my takes and then take the guys from me in draft rooms. The big board is the least fun part of draft season for me, besides every draft where our draft stalker was in, which there are plenty. He's going to be at fucking 33% again in my portfolio this year, and not by my choice. I was thinking about it, and of course, if you followed the bit, the draft stalker guy, a guy who was in 33% of my drafts last year, who doesn't pay for a membership, doesn't do anything useful for the community, but I'd like to see his name on drafts. He also on Davis Maddox streams lately, apparently. Just like to see his name in drafts. That guy was in 33% of my drafts last year. I realized this week I did 7 drafts on stream and tried to move the time so he wouldn't be in it. He was still in 2 out of my 7 drafts. So we could do the calculator math here. 2 out of 7, and that's a good week to only have been 2 out of 7. You're still in 29% of my drafts. Unfucking real. Unfucking real. But he's not on drafters, so another way the drafters is a break from the monotony of the week for me. Hate that guy so much, though. There's very few people where if I heard, so-and-so got hit by a bus, I'd be like, awesome. There's maybe got to be less than 5 people in the world that I would say that to. Our draft stalker, fucking top 3. Might be top 1 right now. Anyway, if you enjoy content about wishing for people to get hit by a bus, please hit that like button below. Please subscribe. Deposit on Drafters as well. Drafters is the only site out there that demands people get hit by a bus when you don't like them. So go support drafters.com. Juwan Johnson, the only time he's going at a reasonable price tag is a guy who has no fucking clue what he's doing in a draft. But Johnson at 189 is actually a logical price point for him, given the fact that they've said from day one that he's going to be available in week 1, and now he's already back out in the field doing stuff when he's exactly on the timeline, actually ahead of it. So sometimes from the mouth of babes, right, from people who haven't drafted a basketball team on drafters yet, they sometimes do the wisest things. Also, a lot of dumb things, but the Juwan Johnson part, wise. All right. 3, 4, 7, 2 right now. Got a lot of QBs and not a lot of correlation with them. I think at this point we just have to jump around a little, right? Tyler. All right, we're going weird here. Oh, fuck. Whittington, there we go. All right, we're going Whittington for the first pick here. We got 4 rounds left, and I'm going deep cuts with all of them. That's basically how I feel about it. So Jordan Whittington, the first pick. Rams double here. I've got some weird shit planned for Seattle. I've got some weird shit planned for Chicago. And I think that's just going to be the team. Don't think we need a third tight end. Could take it, but don't need it. Hit by a butt. First of all, I take great offense to this, given that I'm not a Pennsylvania. Like, I live here not by choice. I've only been here for less than 3 years, 2.5 years of my life. It's a New York thing to say, because there's buses that actually will hit people in New York. Pennsylvania, I don't know. I don't think there's people getting hit by a bus. Love the team. Thank you for that. Our guy Matthew here, one of our earliest signups, and I appreciate him for it. And real, yeah, wishing people to get hit by a bus is as real as you can get, I think. Jake Bobo is a consideration. Yeah, I think Jake Bobo. I think Jake Bobo's in play. Contingent value, Jake Bobo. Jake Bobo. Here, this is a deep cut. Jake Bobo, kind of the Seattle Trenton Irwin, where like you get kind of just finds his way in the field, has some plays. Anybody goes down, he's going to get a lot of snaps. I think that's where I view Jake Bobo. So yeah, Jake Bobo's a play. I won't reveal the others just in case. But I think these last 3 rounds are going to be me drafting guys who don't ever get drafted on drafters, which I'm okay with. I can live with that as a concept. Though there is one RB I wouldn't mind if I want to do an RB5. Let's see what we get. Mr. fucking 30 seconds. Oh, killing me. Gardner Minshew for Mr. Poopy Butthole, really doing things at QB that are things. It's the best way to put it. All right, so I think I could take my stat candidates later on. I'm going to stick with the 4 RBs. I'm going to go Greg Dortch here. Week 17 correlation, better PPR play. We're still digging out a little bit at receiver technically, even though I think we made it up pretty well. So you'll add in the, God, what even number? We'll add in our 9th wide receiver here, and we're going to 11, much like Spinal Tap. So the team so far is Caleb Williams, Matthew Stafford, Geno Smith. We have Jonathan Taylor, Devon Achane, Isaiah Pacheco, Zach Charbonnet, trimodal RB to start here. So that is why it's a weird team by my standards. Hero wide receiver with Justin Jefferson / anchor wide receiver. We got Calvin Ridley, Romo Dunze, Jordan Addison, Khalil Shakir, Rashid Shaheed. We got Demarcus Robinson, Jordan Whittington, Greg Dortch, and a tight end, Dalton Kincaid, and Cole Kmet. Draft is slow. It started one after yours, and it finished. Well, don't rub it in my face, Kurt. But yeah, it is. A lot of guys here soaking up the entire clock to make mediocre picks. It's unfortunately how I feel about in a lot of draft rooms. But it's fine. It just gives me more time to have to fill the air, have to talk about more things, which is the name of the game here on old Splash Play. One more draft coming up on this one. At the end of the video, 2 tickets being given away on drafters. So stay tuned. Stay tuned till the end because I'm not giving away a second before I finish my drafts. You got to watch every fucking minute. Just hanging out, having a good time. Doesn't need to fly by. I mean, I don't mind it flying by. If you think about it like this, I mean, I don't get paid by the hour by drafters, but you know, like for me, it's like I get to finish it, then I get to go and, you know, eat some food. Then I have to fucking deal with the kid when he comes back, assuming he doesn't nap, which happens often enough. So for me, getting it out of the way, I don't mind. I don't mind quick drafts, especially when it's a doubleheader. If I do like a regular draft and it goes by in 35 minutes, then it's like, all right, maybe it's a little short. But I'm happy to have you guys hanging out. I'm not rushing. I just like breezy rooms where I don't have to watch other people fucking think about their teams. That's how I feel about it. Different draft than I normally do, but I like your draft. Thank you, Jerry. Look, it's a different team than I normally do as well. But that's really the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing I could say for you guys. For the guy earlier who asked about tips, the more drafts you do, even if it is on other platforms, obviously this is now number 12 for me on Drafters, I think is on the Chiron. Yeah, number 12 for me on Drafters. Like you just get better at all the stuff. You get better at doing different structures. You get better at doing different teams, different team types, like a lot of things you could do for yourself. I would have been open to taking Tank Bigsby. He's had a really good camps team this week. Maybe a bit of a shocker for some of you guys out there. All right. Who's more likely to get taken? Jake Bobo or Tyler Scott is the question. I'm going to go. I feel like Tyler Scott's in the mix more. I'm going to go Tyler Scott for the first pick. So that's our Chicago deep cut I was thinking of. And obviously for Seattle, Jake Bobo is the second one I'm thinking of. Is Dalton Kincaid is the first overall tight off the board too early? Yes. Why are you just asking me bad questions today, Ball King? Yes. It's not a good pick. He's not. There's no reason for him to come up. Maybe in the last few weeks of August, if you're really trying to flat out your exposures, you can do it. But you shouldn't take a guy who goes the last of that pack first just for funsies. It's not the best way to draft. Do you think the Joe Milton news, is there anything to it? No, there's nothing to it. They spent too much on Drake May. It just means that Milton's looked equally good as camp, which doesn't surprise me, given that Milton's also got a big arm, also throws downfield a lot, also fairly mobile. He's just like poor man's Drake May. Drake May should be better than him. Like, I'll say that, but I'm not surprised he's not yet. But they're Tupac committed, you would think, to the Drake May experience. You can't take a guy second overall and have him get beat out by basically a UDFA guy. All right, one more pick here. So Jake Bobo for more Geno would be okay. I think Colby Parkinson for more Rams would also be okay. JJ McCarthy for a fourth QB paired up with Jefferson would also be okay. This is a tough call. Bobo or McCarthy? The rare 4 QB build? I could live with the rare 4 QB build, honestly. I think we're going to do it. Final team here is a 4-4-10-2. Fucking weird structure, but we got a lot of value to make it work. We got Caleb Williams. Let me go to this side of the screen. Hold on. Caleb Williams, Matthew Stafford, Geno Smith, JJ McCarthy are the QBs. RB, Jonathan Taylor, Devon Achane, Isaiah Pacheco, Zach Charbonnet. Again, you can see all the values here. Pretty big values. Almost a 10-pick discount on Achane, 2 picks on Taylor, 7 picks on Pacheco, 6 picks on Charbonnet there. So we just scooped all that. Jefferson, Ridley, big value on Ridley, big value on Odunze, not a big value in Addison. Shakir, a little bit of value there. Big value on Shaheed, decent value on Robinson. Nobody drafts Whittington. Dortch, technically a value. Tyler Scott has not been drafted once, it looks like. And Dalton Kincaid is a value, and Cole Kmet is a value. So the most value-laden draft you'll find is there. And guys, we're going to hop into another one here. Let me see. Why is it not? Please click me home. Take me home. Georgia Rhodes. All right. Joining the room now, if you want to play with me on Drafters, first of all, you should have deposited already. Promo code SPLASH on Drafters.com. And if you haven't deposited, go fuck yourself. But please go draft on Drafters and use promo code SPLASH if you can. The best way to support the show, hit the join button. Second best way is to go hit Drafters right now. $50 come into my account, and then bonus money goes into your account as well. So it's a win-win for everybody when you draft on Drafters with promo code SPLASH. As my cat is wandering around the room here because she's been sleeping in my studio the last couple days because of the fact that she vomited in her bed, and now I haven't put it in the laundry yet, and she won't go into her bed until I clean the vomit even more. So we're doing great here. Hey, Nilla. She's trying to get out. Hold on. Let me grab the cat. Come here, cat. Come here. Oh, there we go. That's a big meow. Oh, my God. It's cat season. Oh, don't you try to fight out here. All right. Here we go. Here's Nilla. Nilla, look at the camera. Look up here. Be cute. Nilla is a 20-year-old cat this November. So she is, I've had her since my junior year of college, when my ex then and I were at a bar in Simi Valley, and somebody found a box of kittens there that were abandoned by somebody. And she was brought home in a box of Nilla wafers. So her name is Nilla. And she is a grumpy old lady now. Yeah, you a grumpy old lady? You're a grumpy old lady. Well, this is a way to spin it. All right. Here we go. Dance, Nilla. No, dance. Do the Nilla dance. Da, da, da. Nah, 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 nah. She's purring for what it's worth. This is not animal torture. Meh, meh, meh. All right. You're free. There we go. That's how you fill the time when not everybody clicks the let's start the draft now button. And then she just keeps yelling. This is the thing with having an old cat. She never used to do this shit. And now she just walks around going, meow, meow, meow. It's like classic old lady mode. Thank you, Nilla. Crushing it. My little garbage cat. So wholesome, yes. Fucking, she's a tortoiseshell cat. She's like a literal tortoise. She's just fucking, I did not know cats would be around for 20 years. Yet here we are. All right, we're at pick 4 here. I feel like I haven't got a lot of Monra on stream here on DraftKings. But Chase the ADP pick. We'll stick with the ADPs. I'll go Jamar Chase here. He's holding in case you guys missed it. Everything sucks in Nilla 24/7. Thank you. That's basically, that's her summing it up. Though she fucking is obsessed with me. But even me, like, she's now not like happy with me. She's just fucking yelling at me all the time. Like I'm somehow not doing something that I'm supposed to do. Again, big grandma vibes. We'll see what we get in this room here. We got some more regulars here. Kid Presentable, Mr. Poopy Butthole, Kitten. I think Diego's DB bets here. We'll see what these fine gentlemen do in this room. Yeah, Nilla, I know. She's still sitting here. All that big talk and she won't go away. Classic women, am I right? Classic pussy. Am I right? She saw Kitten drafting from the 1 spot and got jealous. There you go. I mean, that's a cool way to spell kitten, if nothing else. Our guy Dylan in the chat. Shout out Benny here for the super chat. Appreciate that. Cat. Thank you. Thank you. That $2 go to Nilla's college fund. Now that she's 20 years old. She's voting in this election, guys. Hope you're not too worried about that. Nilla Spagnola, a 20-year-old in Pennsylvania, thinks that policies have gotten out of control. Democracy is in danger, according to Nilla the cat. Arby heavy pocket over here. These boys were all grabbing their guys. Don't tell it to the MyPillow guy. Yeah, he'd be fucking worked up. They're letting cats vote. Everything just has to be yelled by that guy. She is as competent as 80% of voters. That's true. I mean, again, she pukes in her own bed. Not too dissimilar. If she was 20 last election, she could vote 20. Oh, okay. We're doing those kind of bets. Not surprising what Ball King's political views are. No disrespect, Ball King. Appreciate you being here. But this is why I can't. I don't know if you guys have noticed. I've bitten my tongue a lot lately. I'm trying to be understandable. We're in an election year. It's just about the football. I'll make my snarky remarks when I have to. All right. We got a pick coming up here. Thank God. Thank our Lord and Savior. We get to make a pick. All right. We got Saquon here. Not really enough of a value to do that. Neighbors, the most fun pick. Waddle, also a pick. I like Neighbors. I want Neighbors more here. Jamar Chase, Malik Neighbors start. It makes me happy. Might be a 0 RB team now after we went so off the beaten path last time out. But who knows? The world is our oyster. As I always say here on Splash Play, the world's your oyster. It's one of my most known phrases. With you living in PA, if either side could somehow register to vote, they would. I think PA, well, I don't know. And again, not to talk about the politics stuff too much, but I think PA is getting more clearly defined by the day, it seems like. But we'll see. I am not likely to register to vote this year, for what it's worth. Just because, so part of the reason why is that I hate voting. well, let's go back to the tangent in a moment. We got Mike Evans here, Kyron here. I am a little low on Kyron. I don't mind Kyron. I feel like on drafters, I really get roped into RBs early a little bit more. A little bit of value on Mike Evans. Let's stick with the RB theme. We'll go Mike Evans here. Jamar Chase, Malik Neighbors, Mike Evans start. Happy with that. So I don't want to vote because number one, I got out of jury duty like fully in Pennsylvania because I still have a New York driver's license. So this is something you shouldn't admit on a stream. I'm going to be careful about how I phrase it just because of that fact. I told them that I was separated from my wife and was living in New York and showed them my driver's license. And as a result, I'm currently not in the mix for jury duty in PA at all. So I don't want to lose that privilege because I don't know how long to be stuck here. Like, we can't afford to move back to LA for a while. So like, I don't want to get jury duty back in to vote. And if it costs somebody the election, my bad, I guess. But I don't foresee voting in Pennsylvania because of that fact. I feel like I stitched on myself about as least as possible, but I hate jury duty. I did it once in Brooklyn, the fucking biggest waste of time. And since then, I have been steadfast in my desire to not have jury duty ever again. Can chat buy my vote for it would take so much money because that means I'm open back up for jury duty. So it would take literal thousands to buy my vote. But also, I think that would be un-American. But that said, if you want to fund the rest of my BBM entries, fund my BBM entries and all my DraftKings entries. Then we can talk. That's true. I may move to New York again. You never know. I'm ready to get separated any fucking day. No. God, can you imagine? I was reading some Reddit thread recently about and I'm sorry for any of you guys who are going through this or have gone through it, but all the people in their mid 40s, like guys who get divorced and it's like, and how their lives go. And it's like, seems like a real fucking bad scene where they, like a lot of guys have their pent up, I didn't fuck enough women thing. And there was one Reddit thread in particular that started with some guy who was like trying to get an open relationship with his wife who was married to for 30 years because like she had more sex than him before they got married and now it's bothering him. And it's like, if you go into that world, man, your mid 40s without your skills tightened up and your body tightened up and whatever, you're going to get fucking steamrolled. So no, thank you. No, thank you. So the wilder, valid, not voting takes I've heard. Didn't realize people were hot about jury duty. I fucking hate it, man. And they chase your ass down to do it too. No thanks. 12 jurors that aren't smart enough to get out of jury duty. You can get out of it, but the thing is, like, to get out of it fully, like, I don't even want to go into the building. Like, I don't want to go through the thing. I don't want any part of that process. Like, this is something I don't talk about a lot. My dad got railroaded by a court process and ended up dying in jail. This is I'm laughing because it's one of the most dark things I never talk about publicly. So I have no love for the legal system and I don't want to be a part of it, especially if it's going to fucking waste my days. So it's a real double whammy there. My dad had other issues too. So like, no, don't play the tiniest violin for me. But that's part of why too. I have no respect for the legal system. And it's a lot of info you're getting on Spags here 1 hour in on a Saturday. That's what happens sometimes. I didn't smoke any weed today. So you get unfiltered takes. We got a falling Travis Etienne, who I'm not the biggest fan of. But again, big discount on him. I think if we're going to end the run, it would be the time to do it. We're going to end the run. Thank you. It was during COVID, which made it even worse. But yeah, don't need to go into details on it. But it was a pretty dark situation. But I had cut ties with my dad before when he first went to jail because it was for something a little outside the realm of forgivability. But that's neither here nor there. All right, the mystery. I'm a man of mystery. People think they come to the stream and I'm just some fucking lunkhead who only knows football. In reality, I have a storied history of saving cats, losing parents, etc. Got out of it because my cousin was married to a county judge at the time. Still got paid. Oh, there we go. That's nice. I don't think I got paid for the day I wasted when I was in Brooklyn. I think I just like lost a day and fucking nothing happened of it because they let me loose after one day. All right, we got ATN, Chase, Neighbors, Evans here. Andrews, if we want to do elite tight end. Obviously, no Lamar. He's gone. But I don't know this guy next to me, and he doesn't deserve Mark Andrews back necessarily. So I'll go Mark Andrews here. We'll get our elite tight end. Took Kincaid last time out. We'll take Andrews this time. No wonder your Mafia voice is so good. Thank you. Done jury duty twice. Once didn't make it to the final jury. Sent the guy to prison. He deserved it. Oh, wow. There you go. Yeah, and I also don't want that pressure on my head. Like, I think I'd be a good juror in terms of, like, I've played detective video games and I've figured it out decently. I watch movies. I'm usually pretty ahead of what the big mystery is in that. That said, I don't want to be the one on the line for somebody fucking living or dying or having their life taken away. So that's another part of that too. Wait, Benny, are you WDIB? Maybe you did. I didn't know that was you. If you'd told me, I would have maybe soft colluded with you and let you have him. But I just wanted to see how this goes. People, again, like obsessed, talked about the comment the guy left me the other day, like, oh, does underdog like a 5 wide receiver league? Because I took 4 receivers in a row in underdog. This is the kind of team that I think people like to build where it's like you get 3 receivers in. These are your theoretical starters. You get 1 RB in who's going to be your starter. You get 1 tight end who's going to be your starter. I think there's a lot of people who like to draft like that. Maybe some of you guys out there do too. Never been the way I draft. Like never once has been the way where I go, I've gotten my wide receiver starters. Now I'll get my RB starters. Now I'll get my tight end starters. Oh, I'll get my QB starter. Just not the way I view best ball. So that's the kind of build we're doing today. A little more weighted out. Hey, Spags, just sign up for drafters and use the Splash promo code. What's your favorite construction in the format? How do you like to get unique here at the end? I mean, you can watch my last draft and see how I got unique. But you don't always have to get unique. Like the uniqueness can come in that, like in that last draft, I really didn't have to go off the beaten path in the 18th round because I got so much value stacked on top of itself. Best way to get unique is always going to be to stack value for yourself and just soak up the value in the room, as long as it's not going to kill you and put you too far behind at receiver and stuff like that, which we fairly artfully avoided last time out. But structurally, there isn't really a hard and fast structure to me on drafters, like there is on DraftKings. You could do 3 QBs. If you have enough capital to do 2, I'm okay with that. 3 tight ends, definitely a little bit cozier on drafters because you have the 20 rounds. Still mostly loading myself to 6 RBs, just trying to make sure the draft capital aligns that they're a viable 6 RBs as opposed to like just dart throw 6 RBs. But it's still mostly to me like maybe more of a 3-6-8-3 kind of build as opposed to a 2-6-8-2, ideally on underdog. We're on the clock here. 2 RBs I don't love. No issue with Xavier Worthy. But I guess if we're going to just do like a full balanced team here, could do one of the RBs. Let's see. All right. So Kenneth Walker goes. Rashad White, I don't take a lot of, but at a certain point, I do have to take some Rashad White to balance out my Bucky Irving overall. Worthy here at a bit of a discount feels a little bit better to me. And I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to take Worthy. If I had to guess, Kitten here at the 1 hole will be more inclined to take Rashad White. But these guys, I think, was no chance I was going to get Worthy back. So we'll go Worthy here. 4 receiver start, 1 RB, 1 tight end. Feeling okay about it. I've got less than 10 DK drafts. So I'm not supporting DK this year. I think, especially with their new betting shit where they're charging VIG on top of your winning bets, I have no reason at all to support DK. I think they're the most scumbag company in the business right now, to be honest. So DK drafts, more power to you if you're doing it, but like I don't have the bankroll to do it, and I'm not gonna go out of my way to find the bankroll for a site I think is bullshit. So I think I'll play DFS on DraftKings this year, but I think I'm kind of done with DK as a customer. Planning on not playing on their sports book pretty soon. Just gonna figure out which one I'm gonna move my money to, basically. But I don't know. Very out on DraftKings. All right, so got ATN, Chase, Neighbors, Evans, Worthy, Andrews. Could go more Jacksonville. I think RB feels pretty good here, though. Montgomery, Connor. Just not going to take Hopkins right at ADP when he should be coming down a little bit. We'll go Montgomery here, RB2. DK is the same company. It's all the same place. And in fact, they actively try to move you to stuff like casino from their other products because that's their highest profit margin. DK is like the most unethical company that is squeezing people in the betting space. And, you know, DFS do the same thing. They've raised the rake for best ball. They doubled their price tag for the best ball tournament you're in right now. And then they have to give it back basically through the overlay and through stuff that they're going to have with the various bonuses and whatever. But so they've done that. They've also had wasted egregious money in acquisitions. They spent $70 million to acquire VSiN, which, by the way, one of the worst fucking companies in the world. Awful content. It just exists for boomers basically to fucking suck themselves off. And I know VSiN pretty intimately. Whatever. They are such a fucking waste of time and money. Paid $70 million for that, sold it back for pennies on the dollar. They bought another company recently, Jackpocket, which is just bilking people out of lottery money. It's just scumbag move after scumbag move. So like, I'm not gonna go my way for anything on DK anymore. Like besides DFS, because that's a better platform than FanDuel. But yeah, I don't want to spend money on DK personally. Yes, that's right. If they put any money back in the ecosystem, they don't do that. They take money out of the ecosystem. But yes, you're right. If they did anything that was positive for anybody besides themselves, yeah. They paid Barstool fucking great. Paid Barstool $10 million to try to get more idiots in and take their money in best ball too. I just don't like them as a company, to be honest. Like I wrote it up in the probably email yesterday at length, and it really cemented how I've been feeling about it. Like just the greed over and over again. It makes my job harder for probably too, or my sports betting app, where it's like, you basically have to account for if it's 20% VIG they're going to add on top. I now have to help people win 25% more of the time, or else our product isn't worth its time, basically, if you're betting on DraftKings. Or, you know, if it's fucking 5% more in VIG, they've already raised 50-50 bets to minus 115 on each side in Pennsylvania. Like you can only do so much to customers before you're going to push them to illegal sports books, other stuff. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think it's a sellout. If somebody pays you money, great. If they take money from you, you don't even want to be with them necessarily. That's how I feel about it. Again, I've had most of my final teams have been on DK. So this is one that for me, I could find the 3K if I wanted to max out DraftKings. I don't want to do that because it's not A, it's like I'm funding a startup, but B, I just think they're really a scumbag company. And I don't want to support it on that level. But yes, if they pay me a lot of money, then I will view them as less of a scumbag company. Sorry, though, because I know the league just only drafts on DraftKings. He's been mad that I don't draft on DraftKings. Like, I'm not going to do it. So you can talk about DraftKings with Liam, with somebody else. I gave you my take on it. Thank you for spurious using this one. That probably email is full of great information. It's just gross. The league, I don't care about this that much. You can care about it in another chat. Sorry. Good luck to you, though. Have fun drafting on DraftKings. I don't know what to tell you. You don't have to be mad because I don't want to draft on your platform. I don't want to spend the money, and I don't want to support a company that sucks. I think I'm allowed to do that. The people, though, like have really been the people who care about DraftKings have been the most annoying people this year, to be honest. Not just the league, to be clear. So not calling you out on this. But like people got mad at me at points of the year that I said I wasn't going to draft on DraftKings. And it's like, A, you're not entitled to me spending my money like how I'm going to. And B, I don't want to do it. Like I didn't enjoy it last year, so I'm not going to do it. Okay, so we're on the clock here. Another receiver would work. I'm low on Josh Palmer, and I could live with getting Josh Palmer here. Unfortunately, would have been in the business for Bowers for somebody else here, but Burrow, I think we can push around. We'll see if we can. If not, we'll get somebody else. Thanks for the name calling. DeLeague, why don't you go run a lap? It is your platform. It's your platform because you're playing on it and you're bitching at me for not playing on it. But I don't care. Like, you're a nice enough guy, but don't fucking get butthurt because I don't like the site you're playing on. And you disagree with my reasons that you said yourself are valid. Sorry, I'm not creating the content you want. Please go find somebody else who does. I will say that to anybody who doesn't enjoy the streams. Please don't hit the dislike button. Just go fucking find something else. There's a lot of people streaming drafts out there. Knock yourself out. Yes, especially then you compare the drafters promo, pretty good. DraftKings to their credit's doing good promo stuff, but they're doing that after charging you twice as much as they did last year for the same tournament. Use your brain. Know when you're the product. On DraftKings, you are the product. On most sites, you're the product. On DraftKings, you are egregiously the product. And when we push Joe Burrow back, we will scoop him up here. I'm always happy to not get Joe Burrow, but he falls enough in rooms that you're always worth pushing it. So we have Jamar Chase. We have Joe Burrow with that bet. So it's a Burrow, ATN, David Montgomery team. Jamar Chase, Malik Neighbors, Mike Evans, Xavier Worthy, Josh Palmer, and the tight end Mark Andrews. So team looks okay. Definitely evenly balanced, a little more evenly balanced than sometimes I'll do. And we got the value on Burrow, which is going to be a must for me to take Joe Burrow at this point. I agree. I don't get the personal affront. Like, I'm sorry I don't like the DFS site you have to play on, or the best ball site in that case. But more power to you. Play on there. My takes are still valid for DraftKings. The player takes the stuff I talk about here. Ever do 2 tight end on drafters? In this kind of build, if I get a good tight end 2 in, I'd be happy to do it, yeah. But the issue for me is I usually do, if I take tight end, I'm taking one in a reasonable range or early, and I'm doing another one much later. So I'm usually in a 3 tight end build for the most part on drafters, but you can make it work with 2. You just have to spend the draft capital to make it work. Use your ranks on DK, super useful, just where the bankroll is. There you go. I appreciate that. I mean, my ranks on DK are definitely going to be a little more off because I try to adjust for market pricing on underdog. So like there are weeks where I'll write up the blurb and update the blurb and go like, yeah, this guy moved 10 spots on underdog. I don't really know why, but I have to now account for that in terms of my ranking. So that's going to be a little bit off for DraftKings. But yeah, the player part of it still for the most part aligns. A little bit different for full point PPR, but if it's working for you, great. Happy to hear it. Thank you for that, Mr. Poopy Butthole. But we made the point here. I guess we made the point. I know I'm harping on it too. Just like it's annoying to me that people think they're entitled, especially people that aren't like paying customers. Like the league is like a somewhat regular here, but it's not like you're paying for a membership. Like if you're paying me and you're like, hey, I've paid for your site or for your YouTube channel for a year. Like, why are you not doing DraftKings this year? I'd probably take it more seriously and go like, maybe I should do some. But don't come entitled to my bankroll. Like, don't. Like, that's not what I want to do. I share my process here, and I think that's a lot more than other people. I share everything I do, every news item I see, every news item I find important. I can't share more. I can't unless somebody's fucking bankrolling me to do the stuff. Then yeah, then I can share more. Anyway, guys, that's the real talk you'll get here from me always. So if you enjoyed that candor, and if you're not mad about me not drafting on DraftKings, please subscribe down below, hit the like button, splash play on that death march to 4,000 subs. We're going to get there eventually, but not with me scaring off the DK drafters. So please hit the like button, please subscribe. Of course, new drafts every Monday to Saturday at 11 a.m. And today and tomorrow, we're going to celebrate drafters giving me more double headers. We're going to do 2 double headers. We got one today here. Going to do a giveaway of 2 tickets tomorrow at 11 a.m. or 11 a.m.-ish, probably a little bit before. Another double header coming up tomorrow. So 2 drafters double headers to kick us off. And then next week, I'll do a happy hour time one day on the week. Not sure when. Can we get back to politics? It seems like, honestly, the DraftKings stuff stirred up as much political beliefs as actual politics talk. Oh, it is full point PPR. That's the thing. People miss that on every site. You got to keep it in mind. Got to tattoo it on your eyelids. All right, we're on the clock here. Correlate Jared Goff with David Montgomery just to fuck up the room. Jerome Ford is a value. Just why? Why is he falling? This week of all weeks, and this happened yesterday in Underdog as well, Jerome Ford fell 15 spots in a room, and it's like there's been no good signal for Chubb. In fact, the signal for Chubb is getting worse, even though he's like, he's lifting weights heavy. He's out there on the field doing stuff. He's still not in practice, still on the PUP list, still trending towards the in-season PUP list. And Deonta Foreman just got paralyzed briefly this week, and Jerome Ford is going after ADP in multiple rooms. Why? Why would that happen? Don't get it. Shout out, Jerry. Enjoyed the show. Keep watching when I can. Thank you, Jerry. That's all I can ask. I'm here every day. You guys don't have to be. But if you are, great. Okay. Got 3 RBs, 5 receivers here. Got our QB. Don't need to grab another one yet. Benson falling a little bit. Not the most appealing to me. This is a hero RB build technically with the value we got on ATN. I'm gonna go Blake Corum here. I like Blake Corum more than Benson, which, as you guys know, as somebody who's been down on Benson, well, really both guys, but down on Corum since day one. Benson, to me, is fighting uphill to get a spot with Connor where he's going to actually matter. Corum has a couple outs. He has the contingent value, obviously, but also he can take some goal line work away. He can take 25% of that workload away. I think it would be in line with what the Rams want. For Benson, I don't know that him taking work away is what the Cardinals want. So I'd rather have Corum than that. Honestly, I'd rather have Ezekiel Elliott than maybe both those guys. But the ADPs were there for Corum, so I went Corum here. Really am buying Chubb more these days. Have about 30% Ford already. That's good. That's fine. But I don't know why Ford is falling. Like Chubb to me, get him in the 140s. There's enough time where Chubb falls in the 140s. Ford is a guy that's going to have a role no matter what. And the more that Chubb falters and the more that Chubb, again, knock on wood, I hope he doesn't because he's a great player and I've enjoyed watching his career. But if Chubb comes back in, gets hurt again, this is Ford's backfield. And it's like Ford with Pierre Strong because Pierre Strong is running ahead of Deonta Foreman in camp. So like those are your two backs. Ford is going to have a lot of work in the situation where Chubb is there and where Chubb's not there. So Ford to me just shouldn't fall. Is there a chance Herbert isn't ready week one? There's always a chance. I talked about the plantar fascia yesterday because I have experience with because I tore my plantar fascia. It's a sucky recovery and it sucks worse because like your foot, it feels like you're going to tear it again for that first month after you've quote unquote recovered. So like I had the walking boot thing for a couple of weeks and then was out of it. Obviously I didn't have professional team level physical therapists with it, but I'll never forget like how just walking, I was worried that it was going to re-tear, even though it was like theoretically your tissue gets stronger than it was before. But it was just so stiff that it felt weird. So wouldn't shock me if he were a little bit late. But I think, he'll be fine. For a guy who misses like 1 or 2 weeks to start the year, same thing for DeAndre Hopkins. There shouldn't really be an ADP fall. Like, yeah, you're losing those guys early on. Theoretically, you have to cover for them for that time period. And theoretically, there's some re-injury risk. Any soft tissue stuff, which the plantar fascia is, would technically be a re-injury risk. But, if the guy's going to be ready the first 3 weeks of the season, they're still functionally the same play for the most part. First 6 to 8 weeks, that's where you get to a point where it's like, this guy might not be the guy that I'm looking for. Anyway, Drafters drafts here. Again, giveaway coming at the end of the video. But if you haven't played on Drafters yet, go to drafters.com, drafters.com. Use promo code SPLASH on there. You get a $100 deposit match. And a Drafters Million, I think, structurally the most friendly tournament out there. There's no pods, no playoff pods, full point PPR. And then, again, I finished top 110 last year with only 9 entries. So, look, if you think I'm a brilliant drafter, then great. Then I put my brilliance in play with 1/15 of the entries some other people did and still finished well. But also, if you think I'm a dog shit drafter, then great. Play on Drafters even more because you'll be able to really squeeze that EV out if you're a better drafter than me. So check it out, drafters.com. Use promo code SPLASH on there for a $100 deposit match. And again, great way to support the show and your own bankroll. All right, so we're on the clock here. We got plantar fascia, Justin Herbert staring us in the face. Stack-wise here, really nothing we have to get to. Chubb here doesn't make sense with the Ford bet, really. Marshawn Lloyd makes me feel pretty done at RB, even in this hero build, so we're going to go with Marshawn Lloyd. And Nilla's still sitting here, evaluating if she wants to leave. Hey, Nilla, back on camera. Oh, here we go. Da, 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 da. All right, she hates it. There we go. All right, yeah, yell some more, cat. Drafters is nice, I agree. Drafters needs to drop a reload code. I asked them for that. It's not one of their priorities, unfortunately. Though I do think it's a possibility if the tournament has a hard time filling, which right now it was like 1/3 close to filled last week. I'll check the fill rate after this pick. Right now, it's still less than 1/3. So you might get a reload bonus down the home stretch. I can't guarantee that, though, because I've asked about it. Last year, we converted so many reload bonuses, but they didn't pay us for them, which kind of sucked. Because reload bonuses for the sites, like the sites don't value reload bonuses very well, unfortunately. Oh, they dropped one in June? Well, maybe they'll drop another one. But yeah, they won't give a CPA on it. I know that for the business side of it. All right, we're on the clock here. Would like to add more wide receivers in. This is a decent fall for Leggett. Leggett is playing behind Mingo right now. But Leggett's fine. He's got the draft capital. We're going to take the bet here. And he is a current regime pick, so that helps as well. A bit of a discount. Also, technically a Week 17 correlation, which doesn't matter quite as much on drafters, but does give you a little bit of juice here, a little bit of rocket fuel theoretically at the end of your campaign. So I don't mind Week 17 correlations on drafters. We have Joe Burrow, got him as a discount. Travis Etienne got him as a discount. David Montgomery, Jerome Ford, Blake Corum, Marshawn Lloyd. So I think we're done at RB with those guys. Chase Brown, Malik Neighbors, Mike Evans, Xavier Worthy, Josh Palmer, Xavier Leggett, and Mark Andrews. So the team hit its draft capital. Like we got our 5 and 100. Like we hit all the marks we had to hit in terms of just getting receivers. That said, It's like a weird receiver room. Like this, to me, this doesn't feel like I got 5 receivers in the top 100, but I did. So we're going to live with it. Still want to chase more volume at receiver, though, overall, I think, because I don't feel the most cozy with these guys we picked having the floor and ceiling year round. Worthy's tough for me with floor. Palmer probably more floor than ceiling, though I think they're both in the mix. Neighbors definitely more ceiling than floor. Evans definitely more ceiling than floor. Chase a little bit of both. It's tough. Drafters should come out with a better August promo. The constant's 25% filled. Hey, you know, they got me doing double headers now, so that's going to solve it. I think that's how it's going to go. Shout out Matthew here for Nilla's college fund. Thank you. Thank you. I mean, technically, she should have been going to college 2 years ago when she turned 18. But, you know, some of us are late starters. She's going to go to community college and she's going to get her GED and go to community college. Her KED, her kitty equivalency degree. Aw, cute. Baker Mayfield goes to this guy. This guy better have Chris Godwin or I'm going to fucking yell at him. Oh, good. Unstacked Baker Mayfield for this guy. Great. No, I didn't want Baker Mayfield with Mike Evans to correlate. No, why would I want that? You take unstacked Baker Mayfield. It's very logical. It's the worst to me, too, when a guy stacks up. Like, he's got one QB with a receiver. He's got Garrett Wilson, right? So you take Aaron Rodgers. Logical. Why would you take unstacked Baker Mayfield? What is unstacked Baker Mayfield? There's not, like, much backdoor. You're going to go McMillan? Maybe. You better fucking get McMillan after that shit. Unbelievable. Our guy Bree here starting to think the Broncos will be the skeleton key this year. Javonte Williams, Mims, Nix. I noticed no Audric Estime, no Troy Franklin in that one. Too many guys. Jermaine Burton is here, who I do not want to buy the dip on right now. I think we are live for a Yoshivas team later on. Demario Douglas looking okay in camp. Chargers bet. Nah. We'll go Pop. Hard for Pop to guarantee himself a role, given how competitive the slot is. I've talked about that a lot for New England. Basically, all the guys they've added / guys that keep carrying forward are slot guys. But if they cut Juju, KJ Osborne just gets benched. That's where Pop Douglas looks better. Pop Douglas has looked good in camp. Jalen Polk has looked better. Like, Jalen Polk is locked into that wide receiver 1 role. Pop is competing against Osborne mostly. Tyquan Thornton's had a good camp, but he can go slot or out wide. We'll take Pop here. We got to bet on the Chargers for week 17, so we'll take Pop. Lining up week 17 on drafters is like targeting the week 17 Monday night game for sweat equity. Kinda. You're not wrong, but I think as a tiebreaker between guys that you view as dead even, still not a bad thing. But you're not wrong. Okay, we got a pick coming up here. Really not a logical time for QB yet, unless we're going to go up and get somebody. I mean, do I just take the falling Burton at this point and then also maybe take Yoshivas? I think that's the move. Burton at a 20-pick ADP discount. Fine enough when we have Joe Burrow. So Joe Burrow at QB, Travis Etienne, David Montgomery, Jerome Ford, Blake Corum, Marshawn Lloyd. Don't need a 6th RB. Might still take one as a luxury. We are now 8 receivers deep with Jamar Chase, Malik Neighbors, Mike Evans, Xavier Worthy, Josh Palmer, Xavier Leggett. That's 2 Xaviers. And didn't even think about that. Douglas here, Pop Douglas, and Jermaine Burton. And then Mark Andrews here. So got our elite tight end. Have to get the 2nd tight end. Getting sniped on Baker really threw off my end game plans. So we're going to have to go a different way. But I'm comfortable with the way I'm going to go instead. And that's going to be basically it here down the home stretch. Haven't played drafters yet. Are there playoff pods like Underdog? Here's the thing, Steel City Blue. Not only is it full point PPR, there are in fact no playoff pods. Gets better. No pods at all. You don't have to worry about that luck component even a little bit. These fuckers in this room, I don't have to see them again. I'll see them on the top of the leaderboard here because it's total points on drafters. So yes, if you only play on Underdog, only play on DraftKings, the pod part of things is a big part on drafters that I enjoy a lot more. You don't have that weekly pod sweat. You just get to track your team and see how it's doing amidst everybody else. And especially this year, if there's overlay on drafters, which there's a decent possibility given how filled this tournament is, it's going to be a lot more fun to track the team here. And again, just not be anxious about it every week. So that's the biggest thing I would say for peace of mind out there. By the way, the Baker Mayfield drafter will not get Jalen McMillan back. So he did, in fact, Take Baker Mayfield for no fucking reason. Great job by the guy in the 11 hole. Unbelievable. Thoughts on all the Javon Baker hype train? How is it at full speed? He's been talked down by the coach like 5 times this week. He's playing fine. He's getting some first team work. He's not Jalen Polk. He's also going to play mostly out of the slot. I think he's the best shot to be like part of their future wide receiver core. I think it's Polk, Baker, and something else at some point. But I don't think the train is full steam ahead. I haven't had a Baker news item in my news updates all week. So I'm not seeing what you're seeing, Vaporware. If you have something else you want to point me to, I'm happy to take a look, tell you how it makes me feel. He's getting mixed reports, but negative overall. I mean, I think he's looked good. It's just that he's not ready for prime time. He's not ready to be a full route guy. Like, he's not ready to get a bunch of routes. This guy took Will Levis too. Let me guess. He doesn't have a Tennessee Titan either. Oh, he's got Ridley. So he just took unstacked Baker Mayfield for no fucking reason. Thanks, buddy. Thanks. Love that. Love that for him. Great job by the 11 hole. Oh, you got Kate Otten. Yeah, that Kate Otten stack's going to be the thing that does it. Unfucking believable. Shockers, though, Johnny Wilson's team, it feels flimsy to me. I like Johnny Wilson a lot. I would still be really cautious of him. He does something unique in that room. He's really big. We talked about Johnny Wilson back in January. I thought he looked better than Keon Coleman and a lot of the FSU stuff. That said, for Johnny Wilson, like, he's really big. He's too big probably to play a lot of snaps. He's also a guy that I would expect to be competing with Paris Campbell, with Aeneas Smith at some point this year. Like, there's still guys that are going to take reps away from him. And you still have A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert, and now Saquon taking targets away. So you're competing for a pretty narrow role. If I had to guess for Johnny Wilson, he gets you a few touchdowns this year, but probably not a game above 50 yards unless, like, everybody goes down. That's how I feel about it. You may feel differently. All right, Derek Carr goes. We might be in the spot to take QB, though. Let me see. These guys all have pretty ample QB. Logically, I would think it's a good time to push Daniel Jones around. And I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it by taking Johnny Smith. So tight end 2 coming down. I think this is going to be a 3 tight end build for me. And I'm going to hope one of these fuckers doesn't take Daniel Jones. I know Dylan won't. So I've got 33% of the room. I'm pretty confident won't take Daniel Jones. Steve-O speak, and this guy here, we don't know. There's a quote about Javon Baker from a beat writer that says he moves at a different level out there, but that was against third stringers. Yeah, like, the thing I would look for Baker is more first team work. If he's reliably with the first team and not in the slot, that's good news for him. If he's playing the slot and out wide with the first team, that's better news for him. But for Baker, it's a little bit tough, I think. A little bit tough for Javon Baker to have faith in him right now. All right. Our guy Dylan goes Greg Dortch and Johnson. We just got to wait 2 more spots here. 1 more spot. Doesn't make sense for Daniel Jones. Let's hope for no foolishness. Yeah, that means he's come down. That means there's not steam on him, Vaporware. This guy fucking took Daniel Jones for what reason? For your 3rd QB? Unfucking stacked? What a fuck. What a dumb fuck. All right, Bryce Young instead. Oh, how I hate it. How I hate it. Team so far, Joe Burrow, Bryce Young. We got Travis Etienne, David Montgomery, Jerome Ford, Blake Corum, Marshawn Lloyd. Sniped on Daniel Jones is so fucking annoying. Again, you make a bet on Malik Neighbors. It is a bet on Daniel Jones. That's why I'll take Daniel Jones in pretty much every draft, even if it's a 3 QB build. Take Daniel Jones and you take Malik Neighbors. Like, Neighbors can't hit without Jones being there in the beginning of the year. Mike Evans, Xavier Worthy, Josh Palmer, Xavier Leggett, Pop Douglas, Jermaine Burton, and Mark Andrews, Jonnu Smith. I think that's the one thing for people who've asked about the difference between drafters. We've now seen it in 2 rooms. People just taking the 3rd QB for no fucking reason because they have 20 rounds and don't know what to do. So that's something to watch out for a little bit more. Where, like, Daniel Jones adds nothing to the seam. You have Stroud, an elite QB. You have Tua paired with, like, fucking Tyreek already. You have the bets you need. You don't need the 3rd bet, but this guy just goes, I'll take a 3rd bet on QB, sure. And it's like, just doesn't fucking need it. That's a dumb POS took my Stroud unstacked. He works for DraftKings. I realized he took Stroud unstacked too. Oh, yeah. He did take Stroud unstacked. So the double whammy of stupidity there by this guy in the 3-hole. Anyway, I was going to take Daniel Jones and Theo Johnson. Now I don't know what I'm going to do. Jam that like button or pound the like button even. I will say for the pound. Hey, if you want to get some tools on your screen for Underdog, go check out bestballoverlay.com, promo code SPLASH. Can't use them on drafters, but for Underdog, they've been adding a lot of value to me. The exposures in particular, the Week 17 stacks, the playoff stacks, the mini stacks, all of that. Give me some insights. I went through my exposures yesterday here on stream, including the Best Ball Overlay tool data. So check it out, bestballoverlay.com. Promo code SPLASH on there to get $10 off your first month. Means you're getting it for $20 and basically getting all the data you need for this last month of draft season. So good timing if you go up on there right now. And more to come, I am sure, as well, for Battle Royale season coming up. Which we'll be doing, I'm sure, some Battle Royales on stream when we get into the fall. If you're watching live, guys, stay tuned because we are going to do a giveaway. 2 Drafters tickets coming up at the end of the stream. Be giving away in the Drafters Million, $15 value for each ticket, $500K to first place in the tournament. So stay tuned for that. But of course, please subscribe down below, hit the like button, leave a comment. All your engagements go a long way for me here because I'm a solo proprietor trying to make it work, doing work here on Saturdays, just like you guys have to do sometimes, doing work on Sundays. I don't just clock in and clock out. I keep doing it here. So please hit the like button and subscribe. And hey, go on Underdog too. I clicked the wrong one, but there you go. Just click all of them. All my little sticker ads. Why not? That's why there's a chat in this draft. Tell me how you feel. Okay, here we go. 11 hole. I hate you. 2 hole. I don't respect you. Everyone else, you're okay. All right, there we go. We used the chat. Let's see what we get back. Let's see. All right, the first time maybe second time I've used the Drafters chat before. But now they know. If nothing else, now they know how I feel. And I'm sure it's really important to them. We got Mike Gesicki here, tight end 3. We're going to do that. Maybe should have done, well, I'll vocalize my thoughts after this turn goes. The chat goes. All right, the chat's on my side here. Thank God. We got all. Thank you guys for chiming in support. These poor guys, they're just coming into a random room. They're like, oh, drafters, I'd love to draft on drafters today. It's such a fun site. No toxicity, a great time. Oh, we got it. We let them know. Love every second there. I'll take it. Best ball on call. I appreciate that. Saturday's about to be so toxic now that you just showed your stream the chat. I mean, look, it was all support for me. All my guys supporting me. Though Dylan does take Yoshivas from me, so that's a downer. Should have taken Yoshivas before Gesicki. Don't think we're at risk of losing Gesicki. That's a downer for me. Though at this point, Yoshivas is like a bet against Jamar Chase. He's taking all Jamar Chase's routes. Oh, we got more chats here. Someone's getting hit by a bus. Thank you, Mr. Poopy Butthole. All right, we're on the clock here. Got 2 more picks left. Is there a third QB option? No, not really. Ugh, this is not a fun pocket. Like, what are we even fucking doing here? There's nothing left. Oh, my God. I'm panicking here. Taking Trenton Irwin. Really wanted Yoshivas there. Really, I fucked up the order of operations. That's on me. I don't blame Dylan for that one moment. Yoshivas, a quintessential 18th, 19th round pick on a Drafters DraftKings format. I should have taken him first, pushed Gesicki around because the third tight end was a luxury entirely. I fucked that up. Instead, we get the poor man's Yoshivas, Trenton Irwin. Could also take Charlie Jones for the similarly poor man's version of that. But Yoshivas is the one to get. All right, Bindles is in chat I saw before, so hopefully he's happy. Yoshivas, player that he was on way too early. Now he looks like he was just ahead of the curve on that. And then anyway, that's the fucking 2-hole and the 11-hole. No response by them. 2-hole, in fact, just kept taking more QBs, right? Oh, wait, we were mad at the 3-hole. Never mind. Wait, did I say the wrong guy? Oh, actually, sorry. I meant to say 3-hole. I don't respect you. 2-hole. You seem also not great, but not like 3-hole. Okay, there we go. 3-hole is the one that fucked us. Yeah, there we go. That's what we meant. We meant 3-hole. I don't like 2-hole either, but 3-hole is the one that we objectively do not enjoy. 3-hole is the one that took Daniel Jones uncorrelated and now is, despite multiple rounds, still not taking any correlation with Daniel Jones. You can take Hyatt. You could take Slayton. Could have done anything here. Could take Theo over Zach Ertz, but no, he just took Daniel Jones for no fucking reason. Okay. We're getting it out. This is going to be a stream just watching me chat mean things to people that aren't paying attention. But it feels good to get it out. I'll tell you what. I still don't think Underdog should have a chat because it'd be the most toxic place in the fucking world to people. Then and DraftKings definitely shouldn't, because it'd be idiots like that guy who talked about on Twitter. It's like, I took Caleb Williams for you. I'm gonna win. I'm gonna win the millie. It's like that would be the worst. But here on Drafters, we can just be mean to people and they're not paying attention. But I think if you talk to them about it, if you pointed it out, I think they get it. I think they know that they did something stupid, something valueless. If you want to take an uncorrelated Daniel Jones, like, take him, but at least make me feel better by taking some stack with him. Take some partners with him. Take fucking Tyrone Tracy if you need to. Though he went before Daniel Jones at 187. Yikes. How has Tyrone Tracy not come back down to earth? Has nobody realized that you haven't heard anything about Tyrone Tracy for like the entire training camp so far? Like, can we stop doing the Tyrone Tracy thing? All right, we're on the clock here. We got our two luxurious QBs, Joe Burrow and Bryce Young. Is there like a late? Oh, you know what? There is a late Bryce Young partner. We're taking Mingo. These guys do cut into each other, Mingo and Leggett, because right now Mingo is competing with Leggett for the same role out of the slot. But we can live with it. We got Joe Burrow, Bryce Young here. We got Travis Etienne, a little bit of a discount on him, really decent discount. David Montgomery, Jerome Ford, Blake Corum, Marshawn Lloyd. So we hit RB with the hero RB, got our guys out of the way, didn't go back to it. We got, again, 10 receivers. Jamar Chase, Malik Neighbors, Mike Evans, Xavier Worthy, Josh Palmer, Xavier Leggett, Mario Douglas, Jermaine Burton, Trenton Irwin, and Jonathan Mingo. Yoshivas would have made the team really pop, but we didn't get that. Mark Andrews and Jonnu Smith, along with Mike Gesicki, are the tight end plays. So I'm happy with the team. Thought the first team was more fun. There we go. Thank you for the rake, you stupid garbage unstacking. Okay, that might be a little bit strong on Mr. Poopy Butthole. But hey, guys, it's giveaway time on Drafters. So what's the hashtag? What's the hashtag? Hashtag, you know what? Let's make it fun here. We got to be mean to people on chat. Hashtag, thanks, Drafters. We're going to thank Drafters, right? Because I'm doing more content from Drafters. Drafters gave me money to do content. All great here. So if you want to win one of two, that's one of two $15 tickets to the Drafters Million, enter hashtag thanks Drafters right now, and I will draw them in a moment. Hashtag thanks Drafters. Oh, hashtag Nilla would have been good too, but we're just doing Drafters. Hashtag thanks Drafters. We got one entry in. I'll let you guys get a few moments here to get your entries. I'll drink water. Ooh, I love water. I also probably going to order McDonald's. Should I order McDonald's here on stream? So I can have that when the draft is over? Let's do that. I'd like to get the food here before the wife and the kids sneak back home and I have to fucking do other things. This is one of my trashy things I do sometimes Saturday afternoons. But don't forget, hashtag thanks Drafters if you want to get in. Do we do a Big Mac or cheeseburger? Tough call. I could go for a cheeseburger. Letting entries get in here. This is not a stream of somebody just ordering McDonald's. This is, in fact, I'm waiting for you guys to get your hashtags in. All right, there we go. Order. You know what? I'll give him a $6 tip. There we go. No, $6 puts us over 31. We're gonna go. It's cheap, and I can eat it before the wife and kid get home. This is where we are in the world. Giving you guys a few more seconds here to get your teams in, or your entries in, rather. Hopefully not teams. Don't do an entire draft. All right, there we go. $6 tip for McDonald's, sure. I'm the only person who doesn't care about McDonald's raising their prices because they come quickly, and that's all I ask, baby. Just got to come fast for me. All right, there we go. Hashtag drink. Thanks, drafters. We're doing it here. Two entries being given away. Stay tuned. Doing them now. 19 entries in. Last call. Last call. No, I don't know if it does. I'm actually not sure if it does, to be honest. Spag, I wish they were sponsored by McDonald's. All right, here's your entries. We got 20 entries in. Hopefully everybody got it in. Let's see. We're drawing first winner of this one. Giving away 2 more tomorrow as well, so stay tuned. Kurt Buswell. Kurt had the fast draft earlier. He gets 1 more. So Kurt, after the video, leave a comment with your drafter's username. Please, not right now because I can't grab it in the chat because the chat goes away. But after the video, leave a comment. We'll give you one of the entries. And then 1 more coming here. So here we go. All right, Diamond Jim got his entry in. I think we're back up. I think that counted for Diamond Jim. He's in the mix. And Jerry, your one with the capitalized D did work. Pat Joyce. Pat, you too. There we go, Pat. Pat, leave me your name in the comments as well. So shout out Pat. Shout out Kurt. You guys are the winners for this one. Again, leave me your username in the comments. And again, shout out drafters. If you're not playing on there, use promo code SPLASH, drafters.com. I'll be back tomorrow doing another 2 drafts. Happy to have you in here with me if you can get in. So go to drafters.com. Use promo code SPLASH. $100 deposit match. No pods, no playoff pods, 17 weeks of total scoring, and full point PPR on there, which thank you to Diego. We'll never forget. So go check out Drafters. Great site to play on. It's going to be good for your bankroll as well, especially with that overlays. You're getting a lot of free entries for putting entries in. You're also getting, again, 10 entries, you get 1 free. 25, you get another free. You put in 100 entries, you're getting 7 free. 150, you're getting $100 back. Lots of great deals on Drafters. Full-throated support for them. Check them out at drafters.com. Promo code SPLASH. And I'll be back tomorrow at 11 a.m., guys. Thank you to the people who have joined the channel. Some new names I have to add on from yesterday. You too can support the channel. Hitting join, $4.99 down below. Get a VIP Discord, 10 team reviews a month for me. And you also get my rankings along with all my news updates. So lots of stuff you're getting for fairly cheap. If you use that join button down below for $4.99. Follow me at Chris Spags. Follow the show at Splash Play Pod. I'll be back. I'm going to go eat like a trash boy and smoke some weeds. See you guys tomorrow for more drafters. Enjoy your days. And of course, good luck. Bye-bye.